Shalom. First off, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahawah Harkadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who have taught us this word and teach us this word today. And I want to give a salutation unto the elect of the nation of Israel. This is the brother Yatazakba with the GMS Nebraska camp. This is GMS Endeavor. And what I want to get into in this lesson is how Esau is trying to play God with the use of his technology. The current world that we live in, the current rulership that we live in is headed by Esau, who is the so-called white man. This is his rulership. The earth has been given into his hand in this time. As a matter of fact, we can go to Genesis chapter 27, and we'll go to verse 38, which says, "And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above." Right, and when Esau was blessed with the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven, what that represents is that, basically the riches of the earth would be given into his hand. He would have ownership over these things. Let's read on. It says, "And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck." And we see Esau living by the sword in this time, with the sword representing Esau's prowess in weaponry. We see it in a low-level example with, Edomites knowing guns as if it's an extension of themselves. But we see Esau's prowess within his military, where it has advanced even as far as the nuclear missile. That's that's an example of Esau's blessing of the sword in and of itself. But this current rulership that we're in is ruled by Esau. As a matter of fact, we can grab Job chapter 9 verse 24, which says, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked." Who is the wicked? The scriptures describe the border of wickedness as Esau in Malachi chapter 1. And when we read on in this scripture, it says, "He covered the faces of the judges thereof." This is describing how Esau has stepped in and replaced the image of the Most High, the image of the Lord, whom this world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ because of Esau's deception, whose name is truly Yahweh Shai. They have stepped in and depicted themselves as Yahweh Shai. They have depicted themselves as the angels, as the different people that we read about in the scriptures. They have replaced the Israelites as and depicted themselves as Israelites, when the true Israelites are the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who were dark-skinned people in the times of the scriptures. But Esau has stepped in and depicted himself as the people of the scriptures, as the Lord's children. And so the scriptures say, if not, where and who is he? So who has done these things of covering the faces of the judges? It's obvious. We see it today, where you have a very vast amount of people who worship, white Jesus, who recognize the Lord as a so-called white man, which is another indicator of who is in rulership today. So now that we've gotten that out the way, what Esau is doing with this current rulership, eventually he wants to play God. Esau has not only gone to war with the Israelites, but Esau is now going to war with the Most High himself, as he is trying to step in and play the Most High. As a matter of fact, we can go to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 3, which says, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first." Right, so what is this falling away speaking about? This is speaking about the children of Israel falling away from the Most High, and we fell away ultimately. The pinnacle was in 70 AD when the Southern Kingdom fled from fled from the attack on Jerusalem, and the second temple was destroyed and Jerusalem was destroyed, and basically our people were scattered, and from then we have lost our heritage of who we are as a people, which is how we have ended up here in the Americas, knowing ourselves as Negroes, you know, as well as the northern kingdom of our people had been scattered before then, as now they know themselves as Native Americans and Latinos, but let's read on. It says, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. So the man of sin has been revealed, the son of perdition. When we go into perdition, what does it mean? Strong's G684, which is destroying, utter destruction, perishing, ruin, destruction. The destruction which consists of eternal misery in hell, which hell as the place which is described by the church as a place where you burn forever is based on a myth, but really what we should get from this definition is basically destruction, the son of destruction, that man of sin. Who is that speaking about? That's speaking about Esau. We've already established that Esau is the wicked, and we see the things that Esau is doing in his society and the different things that he is pushing, such as the LGBTQ community, such as atheism, such as all these different ways of life that is contrary to the Most High and life. How Esau is destroying this world. That's how it goes into him being the son of perdition. With polluting this earth, destroying ecosystems, wiping out species of animals. Esau is a destructive man. But let's read on. It says, who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped. So I come here because this Edomite Yuval Noah Harari, he has a quote. Let's read it. It says, Yuval Noah Harari's "We will do better than God" statement from his book Homo Deus is a powerful declaration about humanity's ambition to surpass previous limitations and take on a godlike role through technological advancement. Now, Yuval Noah Harari, as well as the current technocratic rulers of this world that we live in, these Edomite elites, they all have this mindset that they can do better than the Most High, that they can basically surpass what the Lord has created. But little do they know that everything they're doing is by the power of the Most High. The scriptures say that the king's heart is in the hand of the Most High, and he turneth it whithersoever he will. So all this madness and this technological advancement of power that Esau has been given is all by the will of the Most High. But let's read on. It says, he argues that as humans develop greater control over their own biology and the world around them, they might become more powerful than previously thought, even surpassing the power attributed to gods. So let's read on a little bit more in this. It says, displacing God. Harari suggests that humanity has already begun displacing the authority of the Most High through technological advancements and scientific understanding. He points to examples like Google Maps, where algorithms now guide us better than our own instincts. And Google Maps is just one example, but now Esau had with this boom of AI, artificial intelligence, Esau is going to use this AI as a way to basically combat the Most High, to boast in their superior knowledge and their use of technology that can guide them better than the Lord can guide anybody. It says Harari's concept of Homo Deus envisions a future where humans, through technological and scientific progress, will become self-made gods capable of designing their own evolution and destinies. You know, so basically Esau is trying to form free will. You know, he's trying to do it by the way of this technology and by the way of the things that the Lord has put in Esau's hand. You know, and we're going to look at some examples of Esau trying to establish that society within this lesson. You know, so let's go to let's finish up that precept, and then we're going to get into some articles. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4, it says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he as the Most High sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. You know, so Esau is a prideful man. Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 4 says that the soul that is within him is that is lifted up in him is not upright. You know, Esau is a godless, faithless man. You know, and this mindset that, you know, the elite of Esau have show that. You know, so let's get into these articles. There's a few things that we gotta get into today. So let's see. Let's get first. Let's get this one right here from CNBC.com, which says which from Bill Gates, which says within 10 years, AI will replace many doctors and teachers. Humans won't be needed for most things. Now this is from March 26, 2025. Bill Gates actually said this last year in 2024 in September. You know, but let's read on. It says over the next decade, advancements in artificial intelligence will mean that humans will no longer be needed for most things in the world. That's what the Microsoft co-founder and billionaire philanthropist told comedian Jimmy Fallon during an interview on The Tonight Show. Let's read on. It says, at the moment, expertise remains rare, Gates explained, pointing to human specialists we still rely on in many fields, including a great doctor or a great teacher. But with AI over the next decade, that would become free, commonplace, great medical advice, great tutoring. So Esau is trying to advance AI to the point where humans won't be needed. You know, if you need the answers to something, if you need you know, something to heal you, if you need something to teach you, you know, the AI that Esau has created will do that. You don't need a human no more. You don't need you know, the knowledge that has been God given to somebody. No, you can just use this artificial intelligence. And this is a form of the image of the beast, you know, where Esau is basically trying to set up life, you know, in his image, you know, contrary to the Most High's image. You know, let's read on. It says, in other words, the world is entering a new era of what Gates called free intelligence. You know, which we've really got the point of this lesson. You know, basically, Bill Gates is saying that AI is going to replace humans for most things. And in these articles, there's examples of this. You know, for example, we have this from Forbes.com. Could Elon Musk's AI robots save a troubled education system? You know, so let's read. It says from October 12, 2024, classrooms where routine tasks are handled by a humanoid robot. Classrooms where routine tasks are handled by a humanoid robot could soon be a reality. With 44% of K-12 teachers in the U.S. feeling burned out often or always, advanced AI robots could offer much needed support. Now, the thing is, as Esau is ushering in this system, you know, this beast system, because that is exactly what this is, you know, this is a part of the beast system, you know, and we're going to get into more aspects of it later on in the lesson. But as Esau is ushering this in, it's going to be seen and perpetuated as if it is, you know, the right move, as if this is the right step forward for humanity. Esau constantly pushes this narrative of evolution, you know, and this is just Esau is going to perpetuate this as the next step to that. This is just the next step in you know, evolving. You know, this is where life is supposed to be going. And what Esau is going to do is have the, you know, most of the populace thinking that this is something good, that this is, you know, we should accept this. But this is wickedness. And you see the different uh points that's used, such as teachers are feeling burnt out. They'll use talking points such as this will save money, this will be good for the environment. And we're gonna see more of the points that Esau is gonna use to make this seem as if it's some good thing, but this is deception coming from Esau. But let's read on. It says, at Tesla's We Robot event on October 10th, while showcasing breakthroughs in autonomous taxi vehicles, tech billionaire Elon Musk unveiled the latest advancements of their AI-powered humanoid robot Optimus. Musk made a bold proclamation: the Optimus will walk amongst you. These robots, along with similar technologies, have the potential to integrate into various aspects of daily life, including educational settings, potentially revolutionizing how we approach tasks and combat issues as teacher burnout. Currently, Optimus stands we don't got to get all this. Let's see. All right, let's read this. It says, "Could Optimus change how classrooms operate? As a teaching assistant, it could handle tasks like preparing materials and supervising students during activities. This could reduce administrative burden on teachers, allowing them to engage more with students. In special needs education, Optimus could provide personalized instruction and physical assistance, improving the learning experience for students requiring extra support." So hey, this is becoming more and more of a reality. Before, this was just, the theoretical. This would be brought up in conversation, but it wasn't really something that we saw happening. But we seen Elon Musk present these robots. There was a whole convention for it, for lack of better words. And this is something that Esau is really trying to do. Now I gotta jump the gun and mention it. Like I said, we're gonna get into it more later on in the lesson, but this is all going to lead to the mark of the beast, which is the RFID chip. Because what Esau wants to do is insert these robots, insert AI to do what humans do in society, and basically take the humans and have complete control over them. And we're gonna grab a couple more articles and we're gonna touch on that subject some more. But let's go to BMWgroup.com from November 2024. It says, humanoid robots for BMW Group plant Spartanburg. It says it's the first time the BMW Group has used humanoid robots in production, and trials have been based on the Figure 2 robot by the Californian company Figure. It says, with an early test operation, we are now determining possible applications for humanoid robots in production. We want to accompany this technology from development to industrialization. Brett Adcock, founder and CEO of Figure, added, "The Figure 2 is the most advanced humanoid robot in the world to reach the market so far. Recently, it has been used successfully to place sheet metal parts into special fixtures. Downstream in the process, the components are assembled to form part of the body." So basically, now we've covered, they want to use robots in the medical field, for teachers, as mechanics, to build cars, so manufacture. And we see in all the different aspects of society and all the different jobs, they're putting this technology. Let's go to the next article. I believe there's just this last one. It says, in regards to this topic, it says, Thailand unveils first AI police bot. So this is from April 23rd, 2025. It says, the Royal Thai Police has introduced the country's first AI-powered police robot, debuting during the Songkran Festival. It says, let's start from right here. It says, the AI police robot has been designed to bolster security and enhance situational awareness. Dubbed AI Police Cyborg 1.0, the robot resembles a futuristic RoboCop and is equipped with 360-degree smart AI cameras. Let's scroll down. The AI Cyborg integrates live surveillance feeds from CCTV cameras and drones across the event area. Its advanced video analytics capabilities are linked directly to the province's command and control center, enabling real-time monitoring and rapid response. So now they're saying that AI can step in for the police. So the thing is, what they're doing is showing that AI can do all these jobs better. It will be good for humans because it's less of a workload on them. And this is perfect. This is what society is supposed to be. Now, where does this leave humans? Well, let's go to this article from Nasdaq.com. Elon Musk says universal income is inevitable, and why he thinks that's a bad thing. Now, this is from March 27, 2025. It says universal basic income provides regular payments to all individuals in the community, regardless of their employment status or financial need. Now, to give an example of a universal basic income, there's this show, this cartoon, which actually, like, the plot is surrounded around these two friends that basically they worked at, I forgot, I believe it's like a hot dog factory. They worked at this factory, and all their jobs got replaced by robots. And so what happened is that all the workers got laid off, but their job provided them with a universal basic income, to where all of them received basically a check every week, or in the real world it would be every week, bi-weekly or monthly, to where we see the example of where all these robots, this AI, can step in and take everybody's job. That's going to leave humans with what? Needing a universal basic income if they want to, have a steady flow of money. All the jobs are going to be taken. How are you going to get money? Well, Esau is going to provide you with this. We'll give you money. But the way that's going to work is that you're going to have, eventually, you're going to need to get that chip to receive this money. This is why money is leaving. We're leaving off from physical money. We're leaving off from the dollar, and what we are going into is the age of digital money. This is why we hear talks of a central bank digital currency, where the government issues out their own digital currency to all the citizens, where the powers that be have control over our money and where it goes and seeing how it's spent. This is all about control. This is all about divvying out to people what they need as Esau sees fit. But let's read on. It says the idea is that when everyone has enough money to satisfy their basic needs, the overall well-being of society at large is enhanced. And you see the rhetoric they're pushing. Like, this is something good. Like, this is going to boost humans' well-being. But let's read on. It says UBI is something of a political football, as the left sees it as a basic, decent way to ensure that no member of society is left behind, while the right sees it as a handout to those who haven't earned such a privilege. So you got the left and the right arguing about the whether people deserve to have a UBI and all that. Man, Esau ain't worried about that. What Esau wants to push this UBI out for is for control, because Esau wants to decide whether you're able to go and eat. Esau wants to decide whether you're able to live. So we're gonna grab this last part of this article, and then we're gonna grab a couple more precepts, and that'll be the lesson. It says Musk says AI will change everything. Although Musk certainly says a lot of controversial things, there's no escaping whatever. Let's read on. It says, in Musk's eyes, advances in AI will change the world to the point that eventually hardly anyone will even have a job. This will require governments to pay out a universal basic income, as most people won't even be drawing a paycheck. In 2024, Musk took his views a step further, telling the Viva Tech conference in Paris that not just a basic income, but a high universal income will be the future of the world. As Musk put it, in a benign scenario, probably none of us will have a job, but in that benign scenario, there will be a universal basic income. Not universal basic income, universal high income. there will be no shortage of goods or services. So he basically saying, what, if you need money, if you need goods or services, it's going to be available. You can have that, but there's going to be a catch. So the rest of this article is good, but I just want to get straight to the scripture. We're going to go to Revelation chapter 14, or Salakia, Revelation chapter 16 verse 14. Salakia, I'm having a brain fart right now, y'all. Babu Shah, bear with me. Revelation 13 and 14. It says, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. Now, this AI, this technology, all these advancements that Esau is bringing within this this world is a part of those miracles in the sight of the beast. These are indeed miracles. The fact that you can have robots doing and working as humans and playing that part in society, but those miracles also goes into the abilities that the chip will give people, to where we see with we'll read on and then we'll revisit that, Lord's will. It doesn't slip my mind. It says, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they shall make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. Now, this is all a part of that image of the beast, but eventually, in the full scope of it all, the image of the beast is basically the Greco-Roman ideals being pushed, and being at the forefront of society, to where the way, Esau's ideals and his beliefs and his way of life, his philosophies, is the way that people will live. And so this is why you see, LGBTQ getting pushed. This is why you see all these different religions and things being pushed. This is why you see all these ideals that is contrary to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai being pushed. This is why democracy is pushed. The reason why this way of life is pushed is because this is the image of the beast that Esau is pushing. Now, when you get to this universal basic income, and this chip, well, let's read verse 15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Now, how is the image of the beast speaking? It's speaking because it's being put into practice. It's right in front of us. It's showing itself forth. So it's saying that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Now, what is worshiping the image of the beast? Basically following Esau's philosophies and conforming to his way. And it's saying that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Now, when you get into that word killed, it doesn't always literally mean that you'll be put to death unless you follow Esau's way. When you get Strong's G615, it says to kill in any way, whatever, to destroy, to allow to perish, to extinguish, abolish, to inflict mortal death, and then it goes into that eternal misery and hell again. But when we go into when it goes into the root of the word in Strong's G575, it says of separation, and basically that killing goes into being separated from society. So there's going to come a point to where you have like the ESG score, to where we see examples of this right now in China, to where people have a social credit score. If they aren't living and basically governing themselves in a way that aligns with the Chinese government and what the higher ups want them to follow, then their score is docked. Basically, if you are looking at certain things online, speaking a certain way, the type of things you buy, the type of events you attend, the things you listen to, if it is basically deemed good in the government's eyes, your score goes up. If it's deemed bad in the government's eyes, your score goes down. You can look these things up right now. Look up the Chinese social credit score. And within that system, if your score is low, that means that you aren't able to buy certain things. If that score is low, you won't be able to, go certain places, attend certain things. Basically, you will start to be separated from society. And that's, showing this scripture that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So let's read on. It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now, Salaki, before we go into that verse, basically covering one more thing about that, being killed if you don't worship the image of the beast. When that universal basic income goes out, if you don't want to, follow after Esau's way, then you won't get no money, or you'll get less money than other people. You won't be benefited or rewarded the same way that everybody else will, and so this goes into what? The chip. Let's read on. It says, he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now, that mark, when you go into that, is the Greek word charagma, which is a physical thing. That mark is the RFID chip, which will, people have it right now. Especially over there in Sweden right now, you have a lot of people who got the RFID chip, and eventually that is what is going to be our system of payment. That's why you see, we're moving over from not just cash to cards, but now we're moving from cards to biometric payment. It's conditioning the people for this time to where you get that chip in your hand, you can scan your hand over that scanner, boom, you done paid for what you need. Or we see what? Neuralink, Synchron, these different things where people are getting chips in their head. This is going to be something that is rolled out on everybody, to where Esau's his final goal is to have all the populace of the earth to get chipped. And it's all about control, because once you get that chip, Esau has total surveillance over you. Esau has total control over you. That's what your universal basic income is going to be tied to. And if you don't want to get that chip, you ain't going to get no universal basic income. You ain't going to get no money. You ain't going to be able to buy or to buy and sell. You're going to be really ostracized from society. You won't be able to get the things that you need. And it goes further into just being a system of payment. If you don't have the chip, you won't be able to attend school. You won't be able to go to the hospital. You won't be able to do anything within Esau's world. So we read on, it says that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So this is Esau's total goal. This is his new world order. This is his great reset. And this is Esau's form of trying to govern and control the people as the Most High, sitting in the seat of the Most High, saying that he is the Most High. And while it's on my mind to cover those miracles, because you have the Neuralink, the different forms of the brain chip, to where for people who are paralyzed or blind, it gives them the ability to move again. It gives them the ability to see. It gives people who are who have these different ailments the ability to live as if they don't. And that's going into those miracles as well as what we spoke about before. So let's go to Isaiah 47:10. This would be the last precept, which says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. So all this technology and this wisdom and knowledge that the Lord has allowed Esau to have is perverted him, is it's really boosted Esau's, God complex and pride to the point where he is trying to rule over everyone as if he is, the Most High himself. And we see all the parts moving in place, for that very system, for the very system that we are prophesying about, But the thing is, when that system comes, the scriptures say that the Lord has reserved unto him 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal, which is representative of the elect. The Lord has reserved an elect that isn't going to bow to the image of the beast, that isn't going to bow to Esau, that isn't going to get that chip. On Lord's will, we be a part of that number of the elect. But for the elect is going to be taken care of. It's going to be hard times. It's going to be very difficult to live. But the Lord is going to take care of his people, and some of us will be put to death for fighting against this system, for resisting Esau and his system. But let's actually grab that real fast. This is Revelation 20:4. I didn't mean to grab it like that. Revelation 20:4, it says, "And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushai, and for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Yahushai 1,000 years." Right? Because the things that we believe, the way of life we walk, we are conformed unto Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. That is going to be completely contrary to Esau's image and the way that he's going to want people to walk, the things that he's going to want people to believe in, and that is going to cause us to be targeted. Esau is going to come after us for that. It says here that some of us will be beheaded. The scriptures prophesy that some of us will be in prison, and some of us will make it through that time and see the coming salvation. But what it says is that they lived and reigned with Yahushai 1,000 years. They were a part of that, being the first fruits of the kingdom of the Most High. They made it. They won. They received the victory. Now, what is Esau going to receive for all this wickedness that he is doing against Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai? Let's go back to Isaiah 47. We're going to go to verse 11. It says, "Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know." And these evils, this destruction, what it's speaking about is the second coming of Yahushai. When Yahushai will come back to save his elect, that will be the time of the destruction of Esau's kingdom, where America will be completely destroyed with thermonuclear missiles and fire, also being added unto by the chariots of the Lord with his angels, in their chariots, burning this place up. And America is the hub of Esau's rulership and Esau's wickedness. So when this place falls, that is going to be when Esau has been pulled down out of power. Simultaneously with the elect of the nation of Israel receiving salvation. So it says, "Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth." Right? All these different things that we've talked about in this lesson, the wisdom and knowledge that Esau is exercising, that's all enchantments and sorceries. But Esau ain't gonna be able to do nothing with it in that day. What Esau gonna do? He gonna try to talk to his AI to see how he can defeat Yahushua. It's not gonna work. It says, "If so be, thou shalt be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail." Right? It's like, it's almost a sarcastic tone there. Yeah, use your technology. Use all this, that you have amassed, in building your kingdom. And go ahead and see if it'll work. It's not gonna work. So I believe that's everything. Lord's will, this lesson was edifying. once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahakadash. Once again, giving double honors to the apostles, the elders of GMS, and a salutation unto the elect. Hey, shalom.